The officer's voice cut through the courtroom like a gunshot, sharp, sudden, and final. "You're under arrest." The word stopped everyone mid-breath. Heads turned. Cameras flashed wildly, their bursts of light reflecting off the polished wood floors like distant lightning. The air thickened with disbelief, confusion blooming like a storm beneath the surface. A woman in the gallery whispered, "Did he really just say that?" Another shifted uncomfortably, her fingers tightening around the edge of the bench. At the prosecutor's table, the man didn't flinch. His hands rested calmly on the desk, fingers laced together, his posture betraying no fear. His eyes, dark, steady, remained fixed ahead, unshaken by the accusation. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was charged, a live wire of questions, judgments, and unspoken unease. The officer stepped forward, his boots clicking against the floor. His grip tightened as he reached for the man's arm. His eyes were cold, a mask of authority forged by years of unquestioned power. "Step down. Now." No room for explanation. Only command. The man exhaled slowly. Then, with deliberate precision, he reached beneath a stack of files and withdrew a single sheet of paper. The federal prosecutor's seal gleamed under the harsh courtroom lights. "You're making a mistake." His voice was low. "Come. Firm. Not a shout. Not a demand. A statement of fact." A hush fell over the room. The cop blinked, surprise flickering beneath his rigid facade. Around them, the crowd held its breath, caught in the moment before the storm. The man's eyes locked onto the officer's. A silent challenge. A quiet reclaiming of space. Neither spoke. But the shift was palpable. Justice long delayed was waking. The courthouse walls held stories no one wanted to hear. In the back rooms, files gathered dust, complaints buried beneath years of bureaucratic silence. Each folder was a testament to forgotten pain, to faces erased by a system built to protect itself. The names written there weren't just ink. They were lives, voices swallowed whole by neglect. They never listened. A voice muttered in the shadows, barely above a whisper. The man remembered those faces. The ones who vanished after their pleas fell on deaf ears. The mother who wept in his office, clutching a photo of her son. The teenager whose case was dismissed with a shrug. The old man who whispered, "They'll never believe me." It was a quiet injustice. Heavy. Relentless. Behind closed doors, corruption thrived in murmurs. The evidence doesn't disappear on its own, someone had once said, voice low and cautious. In shadowed offices, deals were struck. Favors exchanged. Truths concealed. A fortress of silence surrounded those in power, shielding them from accountability. He knew this game well. The unspoken rules. The way a glance could dismiss a victim. The way a smirk could bury a truth. Microaggressions built walls higher than laws ever could. Just another case, they'd say. But each slight cut deep. Then, a crack in the armor. A reporter's voice trembled in the hallway. This could blow the whole case open. Nearby, an internal affairs officer hesitated, caught between fear and duty. "It's all there," he admitted quietly. And then, a victim stepped forward. Soft-spoken. Raw. Their confession pierced the silence like a spark in the dark. The man, the prosecutor, held his calm. But inside, a storm raged. The faces of his community flickered before him, hope and fear warring in their eyes. They had waited, watched, suffered. Their resilience was quiet but unbroken. The fight wasn't loud. It was steady, forged in hearts that refused to break. Then ignition. A video, unfiltered, raw, roared across screens. Social media erupted. Phones buzzed. Voices rose in a chorus of outrage. "Did you see this? They lied to us. This changes everything." The slow crack of the system grew louder, shaking foundations long thought unbreakable. Those who once stood silent began to falter. Whispers replaced defenses. Eyes shifted uncomfortably. Allies retreated, distancing themselves. Power, once untouchable, showed signs of crumbling. News traveled in murmurs at first. "He's been suspended." The cop who made the arrest now faced scrutiny, not with loud protests but with slow, certain consequences. Internal investigations peeled back layers of silence. The system was fracturing. Fragile in ways no one had dared to admit. Trust, once implicit, now wavered. Change stirred, not with a bang but with a relentless push. The man walked through familiar streets, the places of his youth. Faces that once turned away now met his with nods. Shy smiles. Quiet acknowledgement. He carried the weight of every scar, visible and hidden, that marked his journey. There was no celebration. Only the soft glow of hope, kindled by slow, patient healing. The neighborhood breathed differently now. Scarred but not broken. A neighbor's eyes caught his, briefly, then dropped away. The silence between them carried years of regret. Then, a hand reached out. Tentative. A bridge across the distance. The man accepted it. Reconciliation moved at its own pace. Inside he felt the solitude of leadership. Dignity masked exhaustion. Sacrifice weighed heavy. The fight was lonely, marked by quiet resilience. Justice is patient, he whispered to himself, but it never forgets. Around him the world shifted. Murals bloomed on walls. Protest signs fluttered in the wind. Schools renewed promises of hope. The fight was far from over, but the tide was turning. Slowly, inevitably, with quiet strength. The dusty cabinets were opened at last. Names once forgotten now echoed in the light. The man stood before the courthouse steps, the morning sun casting long shadows. Behind him the doors remained open. A symbol. A promise. Justice, though delayed, would not be denied. Not this time.